Este. Vale. Hola, buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a Bcombinator, el primer hub para emprendedores y hecho por emprendedores aquí en Barcelona. Esta tarde tenemos el placer de contar con 4 fantásticas startups que nos pitcharán y nos presentarán sus proyectos. Recordar que serán 4 minutos de pitch por startup y 8 minutos para preguntas. Bienvenidos VCs, Business Angels, público en general, General Partners. Toda la suerte, como siempre, a los emprendedores que vais a presentar. Y al público deciros que si nos alcanza el tiempo, nos podéis pedir la palabra también para hacer preguntas. Igual que, como siempre hacemos desde las redes sociales, estaré atento por si tenéis también preguntas, las trasladaremos aquí.
Now? Okay. We are working to develop some solution to make the logistic chain more safe and intelligent worldwide. And I will explain how we do. Well, the company called Sync, we are based in Rotterdam. And this is the situation in the world. There are 758 millions of shipping containers around the world. 180 million from them now are traveling by ships, trucks, and trains around the world. But the big problem right now is the security of the containers right now. And yeah, it's understandable because nobody knows who can open the containers during the journey from the origin until final destination. That's why the traffic of drugs, people, weapons, explosives, and chemical, and other illegal acts increase exponentially in the world. That explains why the market of the cargo tracking devices is still growing at the rate of 28% per year. And we expect in 2025, the participation on the market size is 2.5 billion euros. And yeah, that explains why this is the current solution. Some devices from plastic, metal, or the more advanced devices are tracking devices, but they don't have some smart intelligence. They are from the third revolution industry, and they cannot fit with the data age that currently we have. This, for example, the electronic use one card to opening, but this card is very, very hard, the logistics. Try to imagine to send one cargo around the world with what card? This card is very easy to lost. The plastic yellow is very easy to fake using a 3D printer, and the metallic is enough to see the image that not bring any intelligence. So what is our disruptive solution? We create the concept of container security as a service. Is a software as a service to make visible what happens with the containers doors during the journey. So we create one hardware, is a smart device that you can install in the doors and send alerts when somebody tries to open the device. And these alerts come into the smartphone or the management system of carriers, of customs worldwide, and the authorities. So we designed one protocol to identify who can open the containers doors. It's with 3 simple steps. From the app, you can log in, send the commands for opening and opening. Everything will be registered in the cloud and will be visible for all authorities around the world. With this, we created one security network supply chain for everybody to make transparent the tracking and monitoring the cargo. The concept of this platform is to everybody have a one traceability of the security like never before. Do you remember the plastic logs, the mechanical logs? This is from three very big actors in the world. It's Orbcon, Swinos, and Hunter. Orbcon from USA, they are the owner of the large constellation satellites that tracking ships with cargo. Swinos is from South Korea, and also they offer some types of electronic devices, and Hunter from UK. The daily fee status quo is $43. We offer €10.50, but of course, we are different from them because we share in real time the opening notifications, and we can share the identity of the author of these notifications to all authorities and customs worldwide. Also, our different is the business model. We make an economy sharing business model because we involve the cargo transport companies. So for them, we offer to be like a joint venture. So we offer the technology like a turnkey. We offer to them the platform, the device, the smart device, and a daily fee per day for €10.50. So they in turn offer to their customers, the exporters and importers, in 18 to between 25 euros per day. So it's a very big business for them. So we was create a new business model for the cargo transport companies. Yeah. So already the market is very large, 23 millions. We want to take this piece of cake to install 15 devices for 2026. So already we signed 4 agreements with 4 countries to provide 1,200 devices. And this is the very simple revenue structure. These devices make our revenues for 10 and 50 cents per day, and the rate of using is 20 days per month. So this is the total of the container security as a service with the current agreement. In 5 years, this is the current revenues. And we have a one strategy using the embassy of the Netherlands around the world to have this network with authorities and the directors. Traction so far, the Mayor of Rotterdam start to involve all the authorities, the Port of Rotterdam, the authorities of Port of Antwerp and Colombia. And thank you very much. You can see our webpage, and this is the team that we are already working on that. Thank you very much. So, okay. So you have any questions, please?
Yes, so thank you. Yeah? Okay, yep. So thank you very much for the presentation, really interesting project. My questions are going to be obvious. Why you? How are you cutting costs at a just incredible level compared to the competitors? And what are you going to do when somebody realizes that this is possible and they copy you?
Well, yes, it's an interesting question. Between the competitors, they have experienced more than 20 years in the market, but they don't offer this visibility or to identify. You can track in where is your container, but you will never know if during the journey somebody tried to open, and even you cannot identify. So they are in the, like I was mentioned, in the third revolution industry. We are in the date of age. So we start to think how we can add value and intelligence in these traceabilities. That's why we make, well, I was mentioned Swinos, Orbcom, the biggest. Well, with the president 3 years ago, they offered me a partner, but we are very immature startup in this moment. We have only a proof of concept, but now the history is different.
But again, how are you able to cut the costs so much, and when somebody discovered that this technology is possible, is there any intellectual property involved in the thing?
Yeah, we have a patent pending for industrial design. because the platform will involve the World Customs Organization and the authorities around the world. We expect to be the first in the world that we can create this global platform like Facebook of security, which involve all the supply chain together. Yeah, are other barriers like all these 5 years of development. We involve the IoT. We involve the new business model, for example, is very strong barrier because nobody offer to the cargo companies the business that we already offer. And if they want to make the same, the structure, because it's a large corporates, is very hard to start to solve and to create new business model for the sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Francisco. Great presentation. So I fully understand it. I understand the software side of it, but are you actually producing hardware as well? Actually producing the devices?
Yep. We create everything, the software, the hardware, architecture. Of course, we have a third party in Leiden city, close to Rotterdam. They have the properly machines to cut laser and everything to build the devices. So we send to them the drawings, and they make the devices also because they already have certification and they have a laboratory for testing.
Okay, what's the capacity then to produce, and what's the cost per unit?
The cost per unit is average 400 euros. Is the cost, right? But our business model is to sell each device for 800 euros. So is the bot is also to sell the device and to have the daily fee per use the container security as a service.
And production capacity?
Well, our partner for production, they can make a very quiet 5,000 devices per month. So it's very large production. They have a very long capacity for that.
Okay, and just to pick up on one of the questions already asked, it's not a sector I know anything about. Can you provide some idea of your expertise within the team on this sector?
Of course, of course. Well, in my particular case, I have a 15 years experience in the logistics sector because my background is in international business. So I was working in Colombia, that we have some large experience with exports of drugs. And we know, well, not in my case, of course, but in the country, really, we have sadly, a lot of experience for that.
But of containers, of actual container shipping?
Of container shipping.
The experience within your team?
Yes.
Sorry, what is the experience?
Well, my experience is management of cargo in containers from ports in the North and Pacific and Atlantic.
So like the middleman, no?
Yeah.
I'm joking. So what is the customer acquisition cost you have, and how long is the life cycle? The sales cycle, and the lifetime value of that customer.
Well, this for agreement that already we signed is for 10 years, and to take this customer take 2 months. Is the we make the testing in Chile with some devices in December, and we signed up 2 months ago the first agreements with this. So the cycle is very quickly. It's because the price, it's because the technology, and it's because nobody offered this traceability even in the middle of the sea, because we use a satellite, because something happens in the middle of the sea with these opening containers also.
Thank you, Francisco, for being here and your presentation. I would like to know 2 things about the sales. You have 4 customers so far, and I would like to know what is your roadmap in terms of acquiring clients, and how is your plan for that, and how you will get it. And the second, if you can detail a little bit the round that you're doing, the ticket evaluation, and where are you allocating the funds and so on.
Okay. Well, our beachhead market is the South and Central America that exports fruits, and their destiny is Antwerp, the port of Antwerp, port of Rotterdam, and Hamburg. This is in the initial agreements, because they are this is very high risk roads for the cargo, and the next year, in the year number 2, we expect to start with America and Africa, because they also have other challenge in security.
But how can you get them? I mean, how can you get you are in some organizations that allow you to have in contact, to be in contact, or
Yeah,
how?
throughout the commercial office from the Dutch embassy, called Holland House. They are in many countries, so they can make the direct contact, the lobby. They help, of course, because it's our responsibility to make the sales, but they already helps in that. And it's more easy because they are in every place in the world. And yeah, right now, really we have pilots pending in Denmark, in Spain, in USA, in Mexico, in Peru. But yeah, we first of all need to supply the current agreements first.
Okay, so we have last 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
The round.
The round is for 400K. We are able to provide 20% in equity. And well, we are open to talk about business.
Which valuation?
2 million.
2 million. Thank you very much.
So we don't have time for the public questions, but you can ask him after the event. So thank you so much, Francisco, for the presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Aquí tienes esto. Y eso sí lo puedes.
Okay. Hi guys, thanks for your attention, and thanks for having me first and foremost. I'm Gonzalo Franco. I'm the founder, CEO, and CTO at Open Broker. Open Broker is a marketplace. It's a B2B marketplace for real estate. And my background is in property tech in the past as well. Well, actually, I've had 2 startups before. The first one was in New York City. Well, both were in New York City. The first one had an exit, which was a marketing agency, a digital marketing agency. And the second one was a property tech company, which came very close, but it was very related to hospitality industry. So COVID totally took that apart. And with money from the first exit, I moved back to Spain. I'm originally from Marbella. And yeah, I built Open Broker because I figured that there was a huge problem when trying to buy apartments as a consumer. Specifically me, I went to a real estate agent and I said, hey, can you help me please purchase a property? Nothing fancy, 200-300K, which in Marbella buys you about a 2-bedroom apartment. And the guy started showing me a couple of apartments, and that was great. And then I pointed out this apartment on the top, and I said, hey, is there a chance you can show me that one over there? Because that one probably has better views and looks much better, probably same price. And he was like, so sorry, I don't have access to it. It's from some other real estate agent. And I was blown away. In the United States, every single agent has access to a database where every other agent posts their listings. And that doesn't happen here, and it doesn't happen in Europe, and it's terrible, because that agent who showed me that apartment that day could have made half of the commission, but he left it standing because he doesn't have a database to go to. And so I keep pulling on this issue, and I find that 60% of the real estate deals in Spain and southern Mediterranean countries, they just don't get to happen because they don't have a way of collaborating, which is, to me, at that time, mind-blowing. And so I'm like, okay, well, real estate agents are a good thing, right? I don't like them, you don't like them, no one likes them, but they actually are a good thing, because for over 500K, we kind of always use a real estate agent because it provides that added layer of security and like confidence, and they make good money. They keep about a 5% commission. That's what the market dictates. So it's quite a good day for them to be in work, but they don't have a place to source the deals. They don't have a marketplace, a go-to database, right? And so they end up using WhatsApp groups, LinkedIn groups, even Facebook groups, and they leave so much money on the table. And so I just take a couple step back and I lock myself in for 4.5 months and I design an MVP and I code the whole thing by myself, go absolutely crazy for just getting this project and product live. And once I do, it starts getting a lot of traction. So real estate agents start uploading a lot of properties. There's a lot of collaboration happening every day. And so, well, the solution is that SaaS marketplace where you can upload properties and share them with other real estate agents, B2B only. And so our real estate agents started asking for more features because now this is like a CRM that englobes the collaboration network, and we start adding them to them, to the product. So we develop an API, and now we're able to export to all of these recognized partners where our real estate agents actually share the deals. Real estate agents, they come, let's say, so this guy has a property from some client who, his client wants to buy something, and this guy has a property from his client who wants to sell something. The clients don't know each other, so that's why they need themselves, and whenever they make the deal happen, they each keep 2.5%, which is happening every day now. We see that the market size for this is absolutely huge. It's around 1.5 billion in Europe with our monthly ticket, and in Spain we think it's about 250 million a year for our scalable SaaS. All of this, of course, in real estate. All of this, yeah. So we end up getting a lot of clients. We have a subscription model where we charge each real estate agent about 130 a month. Things start going well. We see that we have a couple of other players around us. We keep being the best design and cheapest, so we keep winning on that and make good metrics per customer, about €100 a month, and end up getting a big team, which we're fundraising with, and end up having great roadmaps. I think that in the next 2 years, we'll have about 1,000 customers, and that's why we're fundraising. We go out with a 370K round for 3 million pre-money, and doing quite well. We've achieved about 80% of the round so far.
Nice presentation, thank you. I think you also solve another problem, that for a real estate agent works for the seller and represents the interest for the ones is selling for, but not the ones who's buying. And sometimes the customer who is buying, their interests are not represented and is signing something with vicios ocultos, with troubles that will exist in the future, and the customer doesn't know. So I think you can include this proposition, this selling proposition as well.
Sure, yeah.
I would like to know a little bit, have you validated your MVP? How many customers do you already have?
Yeah.
How many sales have you already done? And a little bit more information about the resistance you are finding in the market, because I think there might be, for the real estate agents, a high resistance on it. So how are you solving, or how you think you will solve this? Thank you.
Thank you. So we actually have 200 active users, out of which 50 are paying. Out of those 50, we make about €105 a month. That's why we have about €5,000 a month in recurring revenue. It's validated now for 6 months that we've been monetizing. And the resistance I see on the real estate agents is we need to go out there and we need to tell them, hey, why don't you sign up here and pay €100 a month in exchange of having access to our database? Well, what they're actually gaining by coming to our database, to our SaaS, is that they can find other real estate agents who have the real estate assets that their clients want. So I pay €100 a month. I go into Open Broker. I find an apartment that my client wants, and I did not have to go to find the owner of that apartment. I just rely on finding a client, and someone else has done the work for me of finding the property. And so I get to the system, and I find another real estate agent I collaborate with, and I get to split the commission over the deal. If the house is worth €1 million, I'm making 25K out of nowhere just because I had a client who wanted to buy. And of course the way around. And therefore they pay 100 a month.
Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Gonzalo, nice presentation. Thank you for your storytelling. It was very clear. I'm in this industry as well. And I know that in Spain and mostly in Europe, at least in South Europe, the business goes a little bit different as in the US than the US. As Frank told you, we are selling contracts with the owner of the property. So your model consists in to have a buyer and to have a seller, but we don't have buyers representatives. I mean, they are not agents working for buyers. So how you solve that? Because most of them are working for sellers, for the property owners.
There's many people who walk into a real estate agency because they want to buy something, or they go to Idealista and they'll find an apartment and they'll contact the real estate agent on Idealista, and that apartment will probably not suit their needs. Most likely, that apartment won't suit the needs of that person, and then so that client gets to be a converted lead for the real estate agent who's now working for that buyer to find a place that will suit their needs.
But this is not happening. I mean, in Spain, they are not agents working for buyers, mostly.
If you look at markets, for example, like international markets like Marbella or like Mallorca or like Ibiza, it happens every single day. In Marbella, there's what was our first market now, but every single real estate agency.
It's places where are expats that they want to move there, and they contract or they hire some personal shopper to buy, to look for an apartment for them, right?
Yeah, so it only happens that way too. So the agencies have, builders have agencies that directly market those products. So they only focus, matter of fact, on inbound on people who want to buy.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's actually a really good presentation, Gonzalo. Thank you. You covered all the points really well. So tell us a bit more about how you protect the business then in the future. How does it, what's your moat?
Well, we need to be sure that we cut one extra step in the future. So right now, if we look at the way that it's working, we can see that, so there is, as he just mentioned, an agent who takes care of the client capturing and another agent who takes care of the property capturing. And those two parties meet in our middle, in our marketplace. What we want for the future is to be able to cut one agent out completely, make it so that the commission will be driven down because there only will be, it'll only be necessary to have the work of one agent who's out there and who's the one who scouts client and houses. So we want to be able to have a much more B2C presence, so as Compass, for example, or Safari.
Gonzalo, thank you, and congrats on the project and the presentation. Two quick ones. How do you get all those portals to cooperate with you? Because in the end, if you become just a database, they're going to be no.
Sure.
Right. First and second, where do you get the properties? So are you paying for that? So are you building the database out of paying properties, registers, all the databases? The same as the same platforms you're competing with? How does it work?
So we actually just are aggregators. They work very well for us, and we work very well for them, because the agent who has a house who needs to be sold and that house belongs to his client directly posts it on our CRM and shoots it straight into all of the portals so he can get even more B2C leads. So that actually works with us and for us. And we work with them and for them. Those portals are B2C and we are B2B, right? So we only cater to the real estate agents.
But you could be the ultimate B2C.
That would be many, many milestones ahead. So for now, that's not an issue that we see like we're stepping on anyone's toes or vice versa. And so, yeah, it's the way we acquire the properties, we have over 12,000 properties right now in our database, worth about 11 billion euro. And our transactional volume is 10.2 million euro per month in properties that get bought and sold via us. And so the way we acquire them is because real estate agents want to sell them. These belong to their clients, and they post them on our platform just so other agents can see them, no consumers. These properties never hit the market.
Any question from the public?
Thank you very much.
One. Oh. Stop it. Sorry. I just wanted to know something else. If I'm not wrong, this kind of system is called MLS in the US, and these lists are for free apparently. And what is shared is the commission that all the agents get from their customers, even if it's a buyer or a seller, a property the owner. If I'm not wrong, you are kind of creating this MLS in this market in Europe, basically. How will you monetize something in here that is for free in the US?
Sure. We have competitors here, and they actually charge. And there's private MLSs in the United States as well. Most of the MLSs in the United States are comprised by organizations. So you'll actually go to the organization of San Cupertino, California, and there'll be an MLS for there. You'll go to Brooklyn, New York, and there'll be an MLS for there. And then there's MLSs who actually aggregate all of those. And those you can pay for, and those you must pay for. Those are privatized companies, scalable startups that actually englobe all of the listings via scraping or API or however they do it. Here in Europe, we're building the B2B database for properties in Spain. We're actually building an MLS. And so we're monetizing on it just because our clients monetize due to it as well. And we look at our competition, we have one in particular called Resales Online. They just focus in I'm not moving any of that, by the way. And they have about 3,000 customers, and they charge 400 per customer per month, right? So the monetization is there, the will to pay is there, and the value for the customer is obviously there. And yeah, there are organizations here as well in Spain, like Noteres, or there's one here, I think, in Catalonia as well. There's a couple of organizations, but they're very location specific, and they don't charge. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So hi everyone, I'm Albert Toms, co-founder of Kibus. Kibus is the first device that cooks for pets. We call it the espresso of pet food. So after years in the industry, we realized that every time more pet parents consider their pets as part of the family. And that's why they want to feed them with the best nutrition. The traditional solutions such as kibble or canned food are highly processed. And that's why they are moving to healthier solutions such as cooking at home or frozen food. Those are natural, healthy, and minimally processed, but they are very inconvenient since they require a preparation process before every meal. Kibus was created to solve this problem by allowing pet parents to feed their pets on a healthy and natural diet in a convenient way. Kibus is designed to be in the floor, and it works with dehydrated food. As a consumer, you only need to fill the water tank, introduce the food into the system, and Kibus does the whole cooking process. So once the food is ready, the orange ball goes out, and there's also a water ball refilling water automatically for the dog. I will show a video later on. So Kibus is an IoT device which allows you to schedule any meal from your smartphone, and you have all control on incidents on it. We have developed different recipes of dehydrated food, which is just human-grade meats, fruits, and vegetables, where only the water is removed for a longer shelf life, but keeping the flavors and the nutrients from the fresh ingredients. It has a 1-year shelf life, and it has many benefits in terms of health, but especially in terms of taste as well. So it has already been proven that feeding pets on a minimally processed diet makes them live longer for more than 30%. We are selling in a D2C subscription model through our own e-commerce. From 39 euros a month, you get the right to use the device and also the monthly food as well. So we have calculated our customer month lifetime of 20 months with an average revenue per customer of 60 euros. And with a gross margin of 65% in our food, we expect a lifetime value of 630 euros per customer, which is 10 times the acquisition cost. Pet food industry is a large market with more than 500 million dogs and cats in the world, which are consuming more than 100 billion in pet food a year. And actually, the category with the highest growth is the minimally processed foods, growing more than 50% annually. We are competing with traditional solutions and also with emerging startups which are selling alternative foods. And with dispensers as well, which only does the traditional solutions, the kibble food, whilst Kibus is actually cooking the food. We are an experienced team with 3 co-founders. Albert Icar comes from the pet food industry. His grandfather founded a business that's been running for more than 60 years, and he used to be the sales and marketing director, selling more than 25 countries. Marta Risa has experience in scaling up startups at the UPC University, and myself, I have a financial background in multinational companies such as Roca or Coca-Cola. We also have Paul Disbray in the team, which is the mechanical engineer, and his experience is more in the technical part, manufacturing, consumer electronics in China and in the UK. We have also first-class advisors such as Xavier Perez from Purina Europe. And so far, we have protected our innovative product, we have certified, and we have developed all of it, and we're ready for mass production. We've also completed all the food range, which has been tested with more than 200 beta testers. And also, we've raised more than 1.3 million in funding. In the last round, for example, Ayaso Vendors, a vehicle from Imberready, joined the last round. So far, we're raising 800,000 euros, mainly to invest in marketing and hiring in order to achieve 2,000 subscribers in the next month, in the next 12 months. And we're also collaborating with Nestlé Purina, which is the largest pet food company in the world. Why invest in Kibus? Because it's a large and changing market where most of the investors see a very potential in terms of new startups such as Tails, for example. Tails was in Nestlé program, as we are now, and it was acquired a few years ago for almost 200 million euros. And also we have a defensive model thanks to our innovative solution, which we have also protected in terms of IP. We've also been awarded by different renowned entities worldwide, such as the European Commission, Nestlé Purina, or Mars Petcare worldwide. I would love to have you on board to change the pet food industry together. Thank you so much.
Albert, thank you so much. Excellent presentation. Just a couple of quick questions. How is your cost, what the consumer pays compared to the usual solutions they have in the market now? And second, are you producing your own devices and food and so on, or are you buying it?
Yeah, okay, thanks for the question. So for the first one, we are comparing in terms of price, so compared to super premium brands in the market, which accounts for almost 40% of the market. So for these brands, such as Nestlé Purina or Mars Petcare, for an average dog, a customer is spending something like 60 euros a month. And for us, it would be like something like 70 euros, but including the device. So We are very competitive in terms of price because we are including an extra enabler, which is the device, which allows them to be as convenient as the food they are offering, but at the same time in a healthier way. Also, there are the alternative foods, which is, for example, frozen, that they usually have higher costs, and the average ticket would be more like between 80 and 90 euros. So in terms of competitiveness, they cannot go to mass market, and our solution is thought to be to go to mass market.
Now you go into this 40% premium.
So we are in the middle of the current solutions, and compared to alternative foods that are already growing more than 50% in the market, we are still more competitive in terms of price. Yeah. And in terms of the, we have a partner that's been producing consumer electronics for more than 40 years, and is selling for big companies such as Bosch, that's producing the device. So we have everything protected. We've designed everything internally, but they are providing and manufacturing the device, and we are also having different suppliers to make the food internally. Now we have a co-packer that is also developing our formulated recipes, and it's something we are to internalize in the current round as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Albert. Good presentation. I didn't fully understand the device. What's the point of the device when it's dehydrated food? Why can't you just heat it in a saucepan? And the second question would be, tell me more about the partnership with Nestle. Sounds interesting.
So for the first question, so the device, what it's doing is applying the right temperature, the right water ratio, and rehydrating it properly, because there are already out there some brands that provide dehydrated foods, but it requires a process of heating the water, mixing everything for a few minutes, and then you have to leave it rehydrate, and when it's ready, you can serve it to your pet. So Kibus is automating all this process and also allowing you to program from afar. And in terms of Nestle, it's a 6-month collaboration. We are working with their team from Switzerland, the US, and Spain as well. So we are preparing the go-to-market with them. And after that, what they usually do is offering a 3-year program, and they finally end up with acquiring companies, such as in the case of Tails, was a similar program as the one we're doing now.
Sorry, they're helping with the go-to-market?
Yeah, we're working with their directors in marketing, sales, digital, and so on. So they help us how to communicate, how to validate the go-to-market.
And kind of mentoring you, or do you have like a signed agreement with them on marketing support?
Yeah, they have also invested 50,000 euros equity free for the development of this project, and then they want to be the first being there, just to keep collaborating. If they, of course, want to continue working with us in order to, in the next steps in the next years, the possibility is to exit with this kind of.
That's interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. So how is your marketing mix?
So in terms of
your strategy, channels?
Yeah, in terms of channels, we thought about D2C at the beginning because we wanted to get all the information from the customer. We wanted to know how to target them, how to give messages, and how to communicate them. So we're starting like this. But at the end, in the next years, we also want to scale up with the offline channel, since Albert has experience in the sector, and he knows many distributors in Europe and in the Middle East and so on. So we think that the beginning is very important just to know which are the customers we're going to. We are acquiring them through online ads, through Instagram mainly, and also we are applying a lot of actions in terms of organic growth, blog, and also different prescriptors in the offline channels, such as breeders, that can also help us to recommend our solution.
Can you go to the unit economics slide 1 moment, please?
Sure.
Here. So the CAC is less than 60 euros right now, you sure? And all that comes from Instagram ads.
Yeah, exactly.
The lifetime value of 630 euros, how is calculated? Because you say 20 months lifetime, but then the ARPU is over 60 euros.
Yeah. So for a 20-month lifetime, it would be a revenue of 1,200 euros.
Mm-hmm.
So with it, 65% margin would give us 780 euros. And we deduct the cost of the device, which is 150, and it brings to 630.
So it takes you like 2 months to recover, 2.5 months.
Something, yeah.
Mm-hmm. who is the rockstar in marketing in the team?
The rockstar is Marta, who has experience in marketing before and scaling up digital startups as well. And
Because I've seen many D2C the digital brands regarding pet food.
yeah,
Most of them, the unit economics are not so good, so it's like weird for me with this pricing and the CAC that you show me. You know that they are like as real, as good as they are. Has been the CAC like this since the last? When did you start?
no, we've launched 2 months ago. So we're validating with the first customer. So we had the first cohort, and we were also pre-selling last year. So with that, we could calculate it all these costs.
Go to the revenues part, one moment, the projections. Yeah, here. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask something similar. What are the number of customers that you have so far and the revenue that you have so far? You started 2 months ago,
Yeah.
right? So what did you get so far?
So we had a first core of 50 people,
Mhm.
just to first get the first KPIs, as you saw. Also to start seeing how we operate, how we are dealing with the after-sale service, and so on. And now we are fundraising, just to make the launch together with Purina as well. So now we have this first cohort, and the plan is to launch now once we've fundraised.
In terms of feedback from the customers, I would like to know what is the feedback of the two customers you have, the buyer, the owner of the pet, and the pet, in terms of the buyer, in terms of the experience, right?
Yeah.
And the pet, of course, they cannot talk, but probably the buyer will say if they like the food or not, and how convenient, not how delicious is the food for the pet and everything. So I would like to know what kind of validation you got from the beginning so far.
Okay, so not only from this first core, also for the beta testers we've been testing last year and so on. So in terms of convenience, we got a very good feedback because it's very automated. I mean, you just need to. I wanted to actually show a video. I don't know if we could show it, Thomas, because I want to show how it works, just to give you an idea of that. It's just introducing the food inside the device, filling the water tank, and then just need to click and set the grams you want your pet you want to cook for your pet, and then you close the main. When you close the machine, and then it starts cooking. So it does automated. It's just 5 minutes cooking, and then it goes out. So you don't have to do anything. And also you can remove all the parts of the device that are in contact with the food or the water. So that can be put in the dishwasher. So it's totally convenient in this sense. And in terms of the dog, all dogs love it because it's served warm. So it's like wet food. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but dogs love cans, for example, because they're very wet. They're highly processed, but still they are wet, so the taste is much better. And also we don't have any palatants or any additives, but it's just real food, so they love it more than natural one. So you just go there and eat it. I mean, in one shot, and they love it.
Yeah. For me, the picture will be like a dog like crazy. Going for the food. Probably you have videos of that, right?
Yeah, we have videos actually. Yeah, because we couldn't show it in this format, but yeah.
We will see. And considering that you are in the very, very beginning of everything in terms of business, how can you defend your valuation? Because it's quite big.
So far, the last round we closed it at 2 million, 0.3 post money, and it was just with a functional prototype. So after that, we've been certifying, industrializing, and everything. So now we have all the range, and we think that we have a very defensive product, which comparable to other, let's say, alternative food brands, is, let's say, more. It's more attractive in this sense because we have protection. We have been developing with this, and still there are companies that are selling kind of our food, but without any protection, and they've been valued for 10 times what we are doing now. Actually, in the States, the valuation we are now proposing it has nothing to do with it, but of course is now the ecosystem. But we think that in terms of product and innovation, is something that can disrupt the current market, and there's nothing similar. So yeah. Any questions from the audience? Okay. Mhm.
And as a dog owner, if I find a brand that like my dog likes, I will stick to it. So I'm surprised that you are so conservative with the lifetime value of your client, which is the owner. So how did you get to that conclusion?
We think that, yeah, thanks for the question. It's very interesting and it's actually true. So we thought that at the beginning, 5% churn, which would bring us to a 20-month lifetime for each customer. It's conservative, so we would like to reduce it in the next years, but still is, let's say, over the average in the industry, because the average for premium dogs is 12 months, something like that. So we consider that since our value proposition makes customers more loyal, would be at least over it. So it's an estimation, and as I was mentioning, I agree that it's pretty conservative in this sense, but still with this, would have a very profitable business model. Hi.
We met like a month ago, probably, in here. I'm wondering, I'm also a dog lover, and my dog, my dog is like crazy when I show him the food. So he probably, if he needs to wait 5 minutes, he's going to start scratching the machine. So, and that's going to happen. So that's my concern. Who is the owner of the machine? The guy who had the subscription, or you? So if I cancel my subscription, what happens when the machine is going back to you?
Yeah.
And if it's going back to you, you're going to use it again to send to another person, and it's going to be scratchy. So
Yeah.
I want to know a little bit about the operation model of the machine.
Good question as well. So we've been testing with different dogs, from the smallest to the largest ones, and we haven't found any that broke the device. Some of them maybe scratched a little bit and so on, but it's injected plastic, and I mean it's not damaging the device that much. So in the case you get unsubscribed, as long as the usage you've done with the device is normal, having a dog, so we are not charging you. Of course, if there's, let's say, an extra or something like very strange happen with the device, we would charge you then. But we're having a device, so the device is ours, and we'll be refitting the device when we receive it from a dog owner, and then we have to give it to another one that's is getting subscribed. So we are assuming all this cost, and we've also counted in the financial as well. Is what I was mentioning, that we have estimated a 5% churn. So we think that is pretty conservative, because on average a pet lover usually uses the brand for more than 12 months. So we are over that, because it's also getting more loyal with our solution. But we think that we could be in the 3-2% in the next year. So this is our estimation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This? It's like multitasking. You need like 4 arms for this. Let's have a look. So many mics. Okay, so many mics. How are you doing? Hey. Okay, I wanted to let my cloned voice present myself, but we had some technical issues. I can show you in the after work. I want to start with a quick video. Can we just play 15, 20 seconds?
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUV of the future for everyone. Ford Expedition. With a power recline third row seat and cargo management system. It's built to carry a lot because the SUV of the future.
Okay, but we can bring up the slides. Well, welcome everyone. So everything you heard in that, every voice you've heard is 100% synthetic. So no human ever spoke those words. So we're using AI voices to produce audio. Audio for video, audio for ads, audio for radio, audio for everything. So we built an AI audio platform, fully available as an API, others can plug into. That is basically reducing the time to audio production from weeks to minutes or days. So when you produce a video like that, or an audio ad, or a podcast, you need 4 things. You need a script, you need a speaker, you need a sound design, and then you need somebody who produces it. And each of these jobs to be done, it's a different it's a different person, it takes a couple of days, they all want to have a piece of the cake, and a video like you've seen can cost up to 2,000 euros, one video, just a voiceover. But Ford doesn't need one video. Ford needs 10,000 videos because there's 10,000 cities in the US and they want to promote every little village locally. So the total budget for Ford can be easily 6 to 7 figures. There's Toyota, there's others. And this is just one thing. So what we do, so basically producing audio is as cumbersome and outdated as digital like 20 to 30 years ago. And what we do is basically we disrupt that whole process. So we produced an end-to-end automation that produces from script to audio to mastering using AI at each stages. Instead of speakers, we have an AI database of 500 people, 500 AI voices. So you don't need to book a voice actor, but you can use one of the AI voices. If the brand wants to use their own voice, we're going to clone the voice. We can clone the voice and turn it into a text-to-speech. You can use it then. Instead of the studio, we're using algorithms to make it sound great. So at the end, you can produce audio within minutes instead of days. We started a research project with 3 people where we're going to start doing AI music generation as well, because music is an important element. This is something that's going to be ready next, wrong direction, next year. So what we've built is an AI platform that produces voices and audio. And we provide that in multiple engines available via API, and it's very easy to integrate. Traction, we're at 30,000 monthly revenue. We're 90,000 per quarter. We want to grow 50% quarter over quarter. We sell 2 tickets. We sell subscription, 5K at least. And we have 29 customers at this stage. We charge one customer 10K and the other customer 13K. We assume we can increase that one customer in the next 3 months to 20, and we basically sell subscriptions to enterprises as an infrastructure, and we help them make money by not hiring voice actors, by basically giving them a revenue stream, allowing them to sell something on top. We only go to multipliers, so multipliers for us are big brands like Omnicom. Ford is within WPP. They spend a fortune now to hire voice actors to produce audio. They all have DCO tools. They all already can produce visuals in multiple versions. In audio, that's not possible, and we're gonna do the same. There's a lot of market appetite, so investments. We had been very lucky over the last 3 years, raising 2.2 million. We still have 70% of the company. Apple bought AI Music 3 weeks ago, and on Monday, our biggest competitor just got bought by Spotify. We have been in similar similar conversations as well. We have a very senior team, so all 3 of us are close to 40. We've done a lot of consulting. We've no enterprise sales. Timo has a PhD in personalization and what is known as AI. Pera is the CTO, and I'm the business guy. We were able to attract very good talent from TikTok, from Glovo, who helps us build the foundations now for Series A. And we attracted a very, very good team, built a great culture, have 35 people, majority is the developers. 1/3 is in London, 2/3 in Barcelona. We are a UK company. We have a subsidiary in Spain. And yeah, it's a great company. 3 years, we raised 750,000, 12.5 million valuation. We have 50% committed, and we want to basically maximize our Series A. So probably what you see is probably much more expensive than what you see, but we have de-risked the business. The only thing we need to do is basically pedal to the metal to raise 5 to 10 million Series A in Q1, very similar to our competitors, and break even in end of the year December. We have 120K cost and 90K burn rate. That's it.
Hello, Bjorn. Nice to
Hello.
see you
Thank
here,
very much. Yes.
finally. So I have different questions. I didn't got clear how many customers you have right now.
We have 29 customers,
29
paying customers. We only focus on the big guys, so we have two big. One pays 10K, the other one pays 12. He just moved from 12.8 to 13.5, and so that customer is worth 150 annually plus 100K on top, and they are basically reselling. They're selling our capability into other tools.
But you're making 25K MRR was more or less, you said?
Yeah, the month's not finished, but we finish June more around 30K. Yes.
30K. So
monthly.
these two customers are making 23K
Majority,
more or
yeah,
less,
exactly.
and the other 27 are making
It's small.
like.
So we have some of them, handful is on enterprise plan but discounted. That means like they pay 600 now and we want to move them to 3 or 5K. But it's enterprise sales. These things take 3 to 6 months. They're very slow and integration is hard. But once we integrate it, we don't get out anymore.
So how it looks the usual sales cycle? You know, like how do you approach
it's
them?
targeted top down. So we have 4 salespeople. It's me leading the team. It's Javi from TikTok. It's Felix and the other founder. And we want to hire 2 more prospecting people to separate. So we're targeting key decision makers, CTO, on LinkedIn. 50% of our qualified leads are all top down. We have a SaaS. We have a bottom up approach. We're spending 30 euros per lead, but it's not a tactic now. We're spending 1,000 euros a month on PPC. I built a PPC agency before. I know I can spend 10 times more, but it's not. We don't focus on it.
And you're burning 90K per month?
90K per month, yeah.
And counting the 30, so it would be 120 burn rate?
120 cost minus 30.
Cost.
Yeah.
So with this you will have around 9-10 months of runway plus the cash you have in the bank right now. So with this, which would be the runway of the company?
Well, we're going to raise this round to go to Series A. We have cash in the bank until October.
So that would lead to June, July, more or less, no? Next summer?
I mean Q1 we...
The other summer, I mean?
No, I mean Q1 we're going to raise 5 to 10 million. Series A. That's what our competitor raising. Or 6 million pre-seed if you're crazy in the US.
Okay. So last question.
We're only optimizing for Series A numbers now. We're not raising money now to extend the runway. We want to push harder.
So this investment will focus mostly in the sales team, because I understand that you have a ratio of 90% developers, 10%.
Yes. I've been very lucky.
Guys.
I've been an agency before. Now I talk a lot with techies. Yeah. We focus on, and we need the money for 2 things. We need to hire two salespeople. Now it's the more leads we get in, the less prospecting we do. So we need to hire 2 people who only do prospecting while we can sell. And then I want to put more money in PPC and get us to break even. That's the main one. But yes, it extends it until April for Series A.
Thank you, Bjorn. Tell me more about the competitors then and what makes you stand out.
So in many competitors we can integrate because we are tech layer. We're not a product in itself. And the main competitors is on 2 fronts. Either you have a voice provider. We believe voices will become democratized and voice is not a value prop. In the past, Verbio or other people sold cloning voices for 100K, and those times are over. Voices are as cheap as a printer, so we believe voices are going down. So we integrate all voice providers. So most of our competitors are either voice providers. They're very academic. They're not focused on business. And the second competitor is the traditional process.
But who you said was it Apple recently bought
Apple
a competitor?
Sonantic.
What did they do? How do they work?
Sonantic do really, really good voices, artificial voices for films and movies. We actually shared campus at Google with them. We went into B2B and they went into voices. Voices are great, but in a video, it's never a voice. A voice is always a good voice plus a production. So we do both elements. But we can do our voices. We're good. We are probably not the best in the market for voices, but we import voices. So we can use voices from other sources.
Can you tell me a little bit about the AI behind this then? What is the AI? What's the data?
So all voices we do are modeled. The AI is in the voice. So when we model a voice for customer or for brand, what happens behind this is kind of like the AI. The rest is in the sound design. It's algorithm, and we use. I mean, to clone a voice, the data would be your voice, or to turn text into speech. At those two elements.
Just thinking about outside the box, do you think it would be applicable, your technology, to things like audiobooks, reading newspapers, just you cloning voices, so putting the voice of an actress or an actor into any language in the world? Could the business extend to that?
In the future, yes. The truth is, what works best is short-form content. Content that when we started, it was 30 seconds, with those now at 2 minutes. So audio ads are perfect. Any marketing video with 32 minutes is great. Audiobooks are not great. And the reason for that is, and we spent the whole first year building 3 apps to test that, if people will continue to listen. The main issue is the brain really quickly gets used to a voice that is too perfect because of the robot. When you or I speak, we don't speak perfect. So the brain is very quickly to adapt. But for short content like this, 2 minutes, probably next year 5 minutes, it's perfect. Audiobooks we won't touch. There's also no business to make. So for Google, you can render one audiobook for 60 million characters, like for $30. It's no. So the business is really in selling the infrastructure, not the ingredients behind it.
What you started with, that video, was that yours?
The voice, yes. The voice was, no, the voice is imported through the API. It's Azure voice.
It's what, sorry?
It's an Azure voice. It's a Microsoft voice. So there's around 900 voices in the marketplace. If you want to use those voices, you need to hire, you need to import at least 5 different APIs. So we have one unified API. So you only need to import, use us and have access to all databases.
Yeah, but that video you showed, was that the result of your production system?
Yes.
Okay, impressive.
Yes. It's the voice. So when we started, it was like, yeah, robot. Last year, it was like, good. This year, 90% of the English voices win the Turing test. German voices, not yet, but it will come.
So your main use case is video ads currently?
Video is the biggest market driver. I mean, everything becomes video, right? Nobody writes blog anymore. Everybody's on Reels. And every video, every Reel, every Facebook, everything is video nowadays. And every video needs a voiceover. It's the biggest driver. Audio ads for us is the biggest thing that can grow. If we close, there's like 6 big audio players that run all the marketing budget in the world. Like Facebook for Spotify. If I want to spend my money on somewhere, I can go to Facebook and spend 5 money right now. I spend it, I go to canva.com, I create a display ad, I go live. In audio, that's not possible. In audio, you need to upload it, send it to voice actor, Spotify sends it back, and you say like, oh, I want to change it. It's too expensive. But now if you add like self-creation to Spotify, that's why they bought them, you can do it yourself, and it goes long tail.
Just the customization potential is incredible. The fact you said at the start that you could have that advert for every town or village, and somehow it's impressive.
Yeah, that's the biggest use case. We don't want to replace existing. We don't want to do one video for YouTube, but Ford needs 10,000 videos every year for every single city. And all it says like, hey Diogo, how are you doing? Marketing campaigns. It's personalized. Voice actors cannot do that. We do a little bit what Pixar did with things. It's synthetic. It's fully synthetic. But audio becomes only synthetic now. So, but it's very hard to explain to most people. It's the first 2 years most struggling. We had to explain what you can do. Now, seeing money and in the main players buying these players, it means it's not mainstream yet, but it will come. So, thank you for the questions.
So, is your product suitable to do like translation for multilingual environment, or just?
Yeah, one of the engine can do it because our input is always text, so we can just take the text and translate it into language, and then render that language in a different language. We in fact use my cloned voice. That's the video I want to show. We use my cloned voice to translate a German webinar I've done it's another potential. We don't focus on that now, but it's one thing. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bjorn. Floridmic, one of the startups located in our building in Bcombinator. Thank you all for coming. And right now we will do a networking for 1 hour, whatever. You will have the option to talk with the entrepreneurs who has pitched for some more questions. And also, I see entrepreneurs, Sergi, Jordi, me are here to, you can ask questions for the programs, for the launch and growth programs. So we will see you again in 3 weeks. Thank you all for coming, VCs, business angels, and audience. And we continue. Thank you.